podcast is brought to you by Midwinter. These guys were a startup, an entrepreneurial startup some 10 years ago, way before it was even cool to be a tech startup, and have since then gone on to win every single award year after year after year when it comes to financial advice software. I use them. I know a lot of people that have, and if you haven't already jumped onto the new way of doing business, which is all cloud-based and API, so it all talks to each other, then go look at yourself in the mirror and sort yourself out and go get Midwinter.
Thanks everyone for jumping on live, and for anyone watching the video. Today we have Guy Freeman with us, and Guy has been a financial planner for 10 years and now he is kind of doing a lot of advertising, Facebook and Google advertising, and had seen some significant growth in his business over the last kind of 4 years. So we're just wanting to really get some good tips. And now Guy's actually got a second business as well. It's called revdigitalmarketing.com, and he actually helps other financial advisors help market their business and get automated leads through Facebook and Google advertising. So thanks for joining us, Guy.
No worries at all.
So just give us a bit more of an idea about your financial planning business, and also I'd really love to know how you've actually grown that business through advertising.
Yep. So essentially, My Wealth Solutions was started just at the end of 2011, and previous to that, I had just my small book of business, I guess you could say, and an old school friend of mine, Ben Budge, who some of you might know, was in a bit of a transition period with his other business, and he had his financial planning qualifications. So we decided to, join up and start My Wealth Solutions. So I guess that on the outset of that, we, from a business planning perspective, we go, okay, well, how are we going to generate leads? How are we going to generate revenue? What's the things we're going to focus on? And part of that really was just seeing some of the, there was a few dealer groups out there at that time who had set up some lead generation stuff with certain people who were delivering, 10 leads a week to certain advisors. And our thought was, well, why don't we, sort of build that framework ourselves? And that was going to be one of our main focuses, but more of a long-term sustainability sort of one, as well as your normal COIs, accountants, and those type of things. So it kicked off pretty quickly, actually, the online marketing side of things, a lot quicker than we actually thought. So, and when I say online marketing, predominantly what we're doing initially was the search engine optimization stuff. And things have changed a lot over the last 4 to 5 years. When we first started, it was a lot easier to get, ranking on first pages and everything like that. But, although we were doing, I guess, some, probably not best practice stuff at that time, we had actually went out and hired someone at that time to do our SEO. And
did you hire internally, or you went through an agency for?
Through an agency. So it really was a one-man consultant, and he, look, as I said, it probably wasn't best practice. We started generating leads pretty quickly from, ranking on the first page of Google for some keywords. And then when a few of the Google updates come through, we actually dropped off the face of the earth for 6 to 12 months. So, it's just something to be careful of. You want to be doing the right stuff, and because you go from generating leads and generating revenue to basically being, nothing that overnight, essentially. And that led us to, then, start doing things ourselves internally, that, being myself, and then also some other avenues for leads other than just what they call search engine optimization as well. And that was through some of the paid advertising at that time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and like just to get an idea, and when we say generating leads, like within about 3 years, we basically were able to generate over 7 figures just from the online stuff. So, I think we sort of come in at a good time, and we're able to now basically be sustainable up at those levels on first page for a lot of keywords, and we continue to work on it. But as I said, things have changed fair bit since we first started too.
Yeah, cool. So you mentioned up to 7 figures. I'm a super numbers geek. I love asking other advisors about what was your growth in terms of. I'd love to know your top line revenue growth, and predominantly what percentage of that growth would you attribute to either SEO, marketing, or paid marketing?
Yep. So each year since we essentially started, we've grown by the first couple of years, it was close to 100% year on year. And now
Wow.
we're still sitting at 50% growth on our revenue.
Wow.
From a split, like initially it was predominantly the online marketing. It did take us a little while to start building some of our COIs and them to start actually giving us leads. So whereas initially 100% of that was online, we've sort of now got it to about 70% online, 30% from accounting practices now. So,
I mean, that's massive. Like, there wouldn't be many advice businesses out there generating 70% of their leads from online marketing.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably we probably persisted where a lot of other people wouldn't, I guess. So I think we were really lucky initially to actually receive some leads pretty early on in the process of actually paying someone from a consulting point of view, and we just saw that how good it actually was to be able to, like, you literally wake up in the morning and you have an inquiry in your inbox and you give them a call. And although, you know, from a conversion perspective, it's not as high as obviously getting an accountant lead, because of obvious reasons, someone's just coming purely over the internet. You know, it's just, we just love that. And the fact that, you know, essentially the way that we split it with our accountants is a 20-20 split on revenue. Whereas now our online leads, basically it's my time in terms of actually being able to spend on the online marketing and generate those leads. So we love that bit about it too.
And how much were you spending in the early days? Like, so if we're looking at some of the new advice businesses or advice businesses who are turning over a lot less, how much were you spending, maybe as a percentage of your revenue back in the early days on the actual paid advertising?
Yeah,
not even
I guess
top of the agency.
to give you an idea of exact numbers, we're paying $500 a month to the consultant, and then from a paid advertising, it was about $1,200 we were averaging on a monthly basis. So that's sort of the numbers there. But to give you an idea, like we always found that the SEO, the search engine optimization leads were a lot better than the paid. But you know, we figured if we're only spending $1,200 a month on paid advertising and we got one client out of that, the numbers from a return on investment point of view looked awesome as well. So we continued on with that. We've changed a bit now. We don't do any of the paid advertising except when we want to boost some really good content that we're producing. So the world has changed, and it's going to continue to change in the way that, you know, you can actually advertise, and the best ways to build trust and be relevant as well going forward.
Okay, awesome. So you don't pay. So you said you still get around 60 to 70% of your new leads through online. And how are you getting them now? Is it more SEO?
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's from the way things have progressed is that search engine optimization is important. So the way that you structure your pages, you got to have things like meta descriptions, and you know, you want to make sure that your page titles are all relevant, and all those type of things are good. And people linking to your site's still really important. However, where we've seen more and more growth from is being able to produce some really good content in a really quick, easy way. So we love video now because you can record your video. You don't even have to show your face really. If you do a slide deck on Keynote or PowerPoint and record your screen and talk at the same time, have that transcribed and then have a relevant opt-in at the bottom of your your blog page as well. So things have changed in terms of relevance. So when you, as an example, if you got someone, you've done a blog article about how do I retire at 60 years old, you don't want an opt-in saying, get your free 7 tips on the best money management tools as an example. You want something more relevant at the bottom of that. So the other thing with video, you can transcribe it. So it's good from an SEO point of view. All the, Google picks that up as good content. And then what we actually do then, if we think it is going to be a winner, that's when we boost it from a paid point of view. So we'll go on to and syndicate it through all the channels, through YouTube, through Facebook, not so much Twitter, I guess. That's not where we see a lot of stuff. But then what you can do on Facebook is really easily just boost it to a target audience. And what I mean by that, pay $20 to $30 and boost that piece of content to drive people back to your website about that article, which is really relevant to what they're actually looking for in terms of that target.
Yeah, cool. All right. So if you've got any questions, guys, anyone who's watching, feel free to write the questions. We'll get time to ask them later. But I'd love to get into like a bit more kind of tactical details about how you do it. Who have you got writing that content? Because, I mean, we're actually looking at doing similar stuff with the XY Live stuff. Clayton's running all that. He's the boss with all that. So doing video and writing content as well. But how do you actually do that?
Yeah, so
in your business?
Initially, it was getting professional content writers to do that in terms of writing articles. So a really simple way to actually get some good content topics is to, like, I'll use the example of someone wanting to retire at 60 years old. Just start typing that into your Google bar, and you'll notice that 4 or 5 suggestions drop down underneath that. And what those suggestions are what people actually are typing into Google to find out those questions. And the longer that phrase is, the more specific and more relevant you can actually be. So you type in, how do I retire at 60 in your Google search bar, 4 or 5 actual relevant things that people are typing into Google will pop up at that time. So there's some really good examples of ways to then use that as the title for your article. The way that I love producing content now, and I think it is the easiest, is just to do short 3 to 7 minute videos. And as I said, it doesn't have to be actually yourself, and your face and setting up a professional studio, because that can be quite expensive. Initially, all you need is like what Clayton's got there, a pair of those little earphones, and producing a PowerPoint or a slide deck that's got some, possibly some images or just even some key words that you're talking about, and then going away and getting that transcribed. So rev.com is a great service. $1 per minute, they'll actually transcribe the audio. And then because you've got the video there, you upload that to YouTube. That's one channel you've got there is, YouTube and putting that out to your audience as well as other people searching. You've got the content there for your blog. So you'll have the video, the audio, and also the actual content itself from transcription. And then you're able to push that out through your other channels as well, whatever you're working on. So Facebook's a really good example. You'll put a little blurb on Facebook and send them back to your blog. So that's the best way I like about it, because you produce one thing, it'd be a video, and then you can put it out through a lot of different channels, which is in my opinion, the best use of your time and a really smart way to do it.
Yeah, awesome. And so you said you're a seven-figure seven-figure business.
So
how many staff do you guys have?
We're continuing to grow. Actually, we just employed another paraplanner this week. So we've got 2 paraplanners in the office, and we've got 4 people who help us out from the admin side of things. So they're all full-time. And then there's myself and Ben, who are the advisors in the business. So Ben's been a predominant advisor, and I've been obviously, advising as well, seeing new clients, and then obviously taking a more focus on the online marketing side of things to generate the leads.
Yeah, cool. So you got 8 people. You're turning over $1 million a year or plus. So how much content are you actually producing every single week or every single month? Like, are you doing 5 videos a week, or is it more just the 1 video a week, 1 blog, and 1 other piece of content? Just give us a rough idea about your size of business and what content you're producing.
But when we were actually really cranking, was about 1 piece of content per week, and we found that was enough to keep in touch with people, keep in front of people, and to keep generating leads at a fairly significant level. A really good tip actually is that what we found has worked really well for us, and we notice when people come in from our online marketing, is to get your Google business page set up properly. So I don't know if people have seen that before, but essentially you can claim your business on Google, and when they type in something that's specific, as examples, say financial advisor Brisbane, the map is one of the first things that comes up on the page. So the higher up on the page, the better, and Google Business is actually one of the best ones to do that. We've then spent the last 3 years getting some good reviews up there. So if people see 5-star reviews on your Google Business, then you're going to be in a lot better position for people to click on your site and go through. So that's one simple tip that doesn't cost much money, really. It's just a matter of a bit of planning, get the business page structured rightly, and also then find people in your list who've got Gmail email addresses, because they're the only ones that can leave reviews. And we simply just rewarded them, gave them a $30 gift voucher if they left a review on our Google Business. And it's hard to actually judge how much comes through by that, but we do notice a lot of people saying, we saw that you've got really good reviews on Google, and that's why we've come and seen you. So that's one. Yep.
All right. I was just going to say that's an amazing tip. Like, how easy is that for every advisor just to go through their client base, say, type in who is at gmail.com, and then just send them a quick email, say, I'd love you to, review the business page. And
so easy, and it just continues to build that little bit of trust all the way through. Because if you've got somebody who's searching for an advisor online, as I said, the trust thing's a lot different if they're coming from an accountant, I guess. So you've just got to be doing, small little things along the way. And we've set up some things throughout that process where they find us through Google, whether it's SEO, paid, whatever it is then when they come to our website, you've just got little things that help the trust. So we've got a number of video testimonials now of our clients. If you go to mywealthsolutions.com.au, you can have a look at those. And look, we paid, $1,000, I think it was $1,500 all up for someone to come in and shoot them. And obviously we were thankful of the clients at their time, but we sort of tied it in with their review as well. So it's another way to build trust. And then, even awards we think has probably helped along the way as well. So Ben won the Rising Star of the Year award.
Probably unfairly, let's be honest.
Well,
he was up against me.
That's
I
right.
Think he must have paid
there could have been a few gift vouchers floating around for that as well, possibly. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then so once people actually do make contact with us, then you've still got to continue building the trust. So we've set up some automation through our online marketing software. So we use ActiveCampaign. So it's an email marketing system that you can automate emails to people. As soon as they make an inquiry, then we start building their trust. We start telling them about our investment beliefs, introducing them to the team, letting them know what to expect at the meeting. Once we meet with them, we obviously make sure we're doing everything right there. We've got a drinks menu. They go away from that meeting. If they want an SOA produced, then we've got another set of automation emails that actually happens, telling them what the process is from here. So, really important is to build those little tiny bits into your process to build that trust, so you increase those conversion rates. So that's the other thing that we've really concentrated on is, get into your Google Analytics. I don't know how many people, when I talk to them, don't even have that set up for their website. It's a free tool by Google, and it gives you every single piece of information you need to know about people who are visiting your website, how long they're staying on there, what pages they're liking the most. And that just gives you those little clues again to start building, some good content. And then, you think from a conversion point of view, I think we're all pretty good with numbers. You increase, say you've got 1,000 visitors to your website a month, and only 0.5% of those are actually making an inquiry. Well, if you can do some things to your website to make that up to 1%, well, you've doubled your inquiries. And those small numbers are the things that really add up in terms of, building up some good revenue.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we're going to kind of throw it over to questions. Clay, you can kind of run this if you've got any other questions that you've thought of throughout the thing. Run through other people's questions.
Yeah, I'll just start with Guy first. Thank you, and then second, mate, you've got all these people come to your websites, and you mentioned something about an opt-in. I wanted to ask,
definitely.
Are you growing an email database?
It's a huge thing. So we initially, probably this wasn't something that we did very well at all to begin with, and it's you're spot on with that, because your email list is an asset to the business at the end of the day. If you can, although we would go on straight for the jugular, I guess you could call it, say come in for an appointment, and that was essentially how we were generating inquiries. So not everyone's going to be at that stage where they're ready to do that. However, if they only visit your website once, and you've really only got that one chance to sort of capture any sort of detail from them. So something that we've got a lot better at, and I think I mentioned this before, is to have something that's really relevant in terms of an opt-in, depending on what page they're actually visiting. So you can have sort of a general one, but a really good example is we've built entire blog and opt-in around people using a money management software that we've sort of hooked on the back to, and starting to build a fairly significant list there on a free trial version. And we can, within a couple of months, we're up to 150 email addresses and names. So you think about that, although we haven't had any come across to actually coming in for an appointment, is that you can continue the dialogue and keep communicating with them, and at the right time put some offers out there that hopefully they'll turn into clients at the end of the day. So yep, spot on. Is a huge asset of the business.
So you got content going out. Let's just call it retirees and young people. We'll make it really simple. You got two streams going out. They're drawn to a landing page in which they're offered a lead magnet applicable to their demographic, and they join an email database in which, and then say Infusionsoft or something kicks in and then sends them on the process, and all that's automated. And even though I can say that, I've never done it. That makes me phenomenal, and me just, I don't know what I am.
Yeah, I paid for a subscription, but haven't done it. So
it's just really good to hear that someone's doing it. Yeah. Okay, I got a couple of questions from the floor. First one's from Jenny. Can you tell us more about your client base and how do you make sure that the content suits who you're talking to? But I guess you sort of mentioned that before when you said your Facebook advertising specifically.
Well, that's part of it.
Is that how you're
that's
doing
right.
it?
So when you're producing content, we our client base is varied. Predominantly, we've got younger people. I guess that's the sort of people who were initially searching on Google, but it's amazing that the types of people that you do actually get making inquiries from your website, but they're predominantly younger people. I'd say the sweet spot's really between that 25 to 40 years old. However, because we do have a very, the client base is, at each sort of life stage, we try and produce content that is specific to one of those life stages. However, as you said, Clayton, when we go to boost that post, we don't want to boost it if it's about budgeting to 60-year-olds. We boost it to people who are in that, that budgeting phase, I guess, is the important bit. And the way that we look at it, when we're actually putting a newsletter out to our client base, which is some of the content that we produced, as well as just a newsletter that we've purchased, there's something there for everybody, and they don't need to click on the stuff that they're not interested in, I guess. Importantly about that sort of stuff, when you're pushing stuff out to your database, your clients and everything like that, you want them coming back to your website. Don't be giving them any full articles. You just want that little blurb, and then you want them coming back to your website. More you can do that, the more in Google's eyes that you're an authority, I guess. So just another little tip there, I guess, to help that out.
Right. That's a great one, which then sort of answers the question from Mark, who asked what type of plans coming through. So you'd say generally the younger kind of clients.
Yeah, so I guess the way we look, we've got what we call our foundation of wealth, and they're really those people who are looking to save for a house and, looking to get control of their finances and get their foundations in place. So get their super sorted out and get a bit of personal protection in place. Then we've got our pathway to wealth with those guys that are looking to start accumulating wealth. So they might have a bit of equity in their home, or they've got a lump sum there that they want to invest as well, whether that be in shares or property, as well as obviously setting their foundations at that time. So predominantly it's the pathway to wealth clients that we're seeing come through. And then, probably about 20% in foundations and around 10% with the wealth, what we call wealth management clients, those guys that are, on the way to start looking, how to fund their retirement. So that's sort of how it's split.
Okay. So
just
high level,
I'd say roughly around
three?
70% for the pathway to wealth, and then 20% for the foundations and 10% for the wealth management. But sorry, just on that.
Okay.
So again, it's what you focus on. So it's amazing. And it's probably something we'll probably begin focusing on soon. Is if you really want to focus on wealth management clients, we'll produce that type of content, some really good content, and then go find ways to syndicate it and put it in front of those people. And Facebook is now probably our preferred platform, I guess, even other than Google AdWords, because just of the amount of people that are using it, and the platform's actually really, really easy to use and really easy to boost some good content that you like as well. So.
Yeah, great. And final question with 3 minutes to go, and then I'll let Phil wrap up here, is from James. And are you using social media publishing tool such as
so we're using Hootsuite,
something like that?
But the important thing around that as well is to have a message for each one of those platforms that's a little bit different, because you've got different people using them predominantly. So if you can sort of change your message just slightly, and again, always be driving them back to your blog, your own thing that you own. You don't, and that's exactly the same for any other publishing content out there. Don't publish your whole article on Facebook or have a video, that's fully on there. You want them always coming back to your blog, because Facebook, you can easily press play for a video and keep scrolling through your feed, or read an article as an example. Whereas what you really want them to do is come back to your website and then start engaging with some of your other stuff there. And as we were talking about before, opt in some way. So you start building that list, and then you can start offering them different things throughout the process too.
Cool.
Great. No, sounds really good. And I know just your point on making sure that you've got different message for different platform. I know Jenny Brown is a stickler for that. She gets annoyed at any advisor who just pumps out the same stuff on all of the different platforms. So just a shout out to you, Jenny. I remember getting told off by her once. So thanks heaps for coming, Guy. As with anything that we do, we could give unlimited information to people, but they're just not actioning it, like me and Clayton confess to, that we're not doing it at all or well. And I know you've got a business, so in the last minute, give us a plug why we should use Rev Digital Marketing. Or what do we do?
What I've actually done is we that strategy of actually publishing content quickly and easily, and then being able to boost it. And the other thing I didn't mention was the remarketing stuff that's available now, where you can follow people around different websites. That's that's become really, really popular and actually increases your conversions hugely. So what I've actually done is just put together a small cheat sheet for everyone that's actually come on today. And so I think I can, if I just stick there's a URL there, and then you might have to enter your email address in that one, and you'll get sent the cheat sheet of each stage and sort of what it looks like and the best ways to do that, and the platforms that we use as well to make it easy and as simple as possible.
Awesome. No, that's so good. Super helpful. We can hear about marketing stuff all day long. And I know I've kind of dropped many of hours trying to learn about this stuff and actually not doing anything. So what you're doing is really, really great and really helpful. So thanks everyone for coming. We are right on time, and we want to be really respectful of everyone's time and make sure we finish exactly on the dot. So thanks Clayton for coming and filling in for Ben Nash. And thanks heaps for Guy for coming and teaching us all that you've kind of learnt to build your business over 7 figures. Awesome. So thanks, guys. We're going to be posting a video on YouTube, and we promise, I know I said it last fortnight, but I promise we'll do it this fortnight. Finally, Clayton's gotten around to doing the stuff that we need to do. So look out for that over the coming days. Thanks, everyone, for jumping in, and we'll see you next fortnight. And actually, Clay, who are we getting for next fortnight?
Yes. Really good. We've got Brenton, who has started he's a financial advisor, has been for about 15 years, and he's built a financial services company that's about to be listed, and he's quite a fantastic entrepreneur. So there's going to be some really cool stuff next fortnight as well. Awesome. So make sure you look out for that, guys, and we'll put up a lab session that you can join in over the next few days. Thanks, guys. Bye.